I watched the entire first episode and about 15 minutes of the second.
I watched both. I was excited because my son showed interest in it, and because I think he and his boys were all gonna watch, so he came up and watched with me. I have to say, I'm a huge Jordan guy. I was super excited to watch it, and I was entertained, but I think maybe I was hoping for even more. So I actually left a little wanting.
Were there commercial breaks?
Yes.
Yep.
Commercial breaks were annoying. I determined it's better to watch it on DVR because
Right.
you could fast forward through the commercials. The commercials were killer. I kept worried every time they went to commercial that my kid was going to lose interest.
I'll do that today. I'll go right through all the commercials.
And I don't know. There's something about it. It was so hyped that maybe because I know you already know most of the stuff. I just felt like there wasn't that much groundbreaking stuff in there.
There wasn't a ton, but it was still cool to see like footage of Scottie Pippen playing in college. Like,
that was very
I'd
cool.
never seen that before.
Very
footage,
cool.
Footage of MJ like in his third NBA game, like putting the team on his back.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm watching it for. Is because I'm not a big Jordan mark, but obviously I know his impact on basketball and the world and selling shoes and all that, but to see those nuggets that I hadn't seen before is worth it. And the old footage of him going up against like Sidney Moncrief from the Bucks, like that to me is what makes it worth it.
They really went a long way, though. I mean, I don't know, when they interviewed Rod Higgins, I was just like, all right, come on, I don't know. There's just so many
It's
interviews.
10 episodes though. You're gonna get some.
I know. I had it built up so high that I was a little bit, if I had to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed.
All right, so grade it for me.
For me, a B plus. B
All right,
plus.
that's good. That's strong.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, it's Michael Jordan. It's a documentary on Jordan.
Right.
And him, and also the part of it that gets an A plus for me. I don't give it overall an A plus. I give it a B. But the A plus is him goofing on Jerry Krause.
Oh, they
That
were
to
merciless
me
with him.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
just joning right to his face. It's not like it's behind closed doors. That to me is just a knee slapper.
Right. So how much was he interviewed in the first two episodes?
Oh, throughout.
Yeah.
Throughout. You could tell, here's one thing. You could tell he's either high, drunk, or he was crying the whole time because his eyes are bloodshot.
Oh, really?
And, when we read that he has a cocktail right next to him, he's clearly drinking a whiskey, a bourbon, or scotch or
It's a tall
something.
pour, too.
Yeah,
it's not a wimpy pour.
Yeah, so he's got a cigar, and he's got as Cake says, a tall pour of something, some dark liquor there.
Yeah.
So he's either hammered, high, or we also had read that, he had to stop the cameras because he was breaking down quite a bit during it. You could see that. Did you notice that, Cakes? His eyes?
Yeah, he definitely looked a little puffy.
Yeah.
Well,
like
I don't know
bloodshot.
whether it was. Yeah, I don't know whether it was from drinking or from. I would guess more to that. It's all the nostalgia and a lot of feelings got mixed up, and he had to have the camera stop from time to time. But
Right.
man, that pour of liquor was that was something to behold.
Why wouldn't they show him crying?
I don't know. He
It
didn't
would add
want
a lot. It would add a lot more to it.
because what I read, I don't know if you read the same thing. Even though we had the director on, he said MJ never said don't use that, but he would tell him to stop shooting when he was breaking down. Like he'd say need a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel like they kind of showed him crying when they passed him the iPad and he played a video of his mom reading a letter that he sent to his mom while he was in college.
Asking for
So when he was
more
in North
money.
Carolina, he was short on dough.
And he needed
actually
stamps
asked her,
like Jason back in the day.
Yeah, he asked his mom to send him $20 in stamps.
Right. No, I mean, it was overall it was good, and I'll watch it next week. And I was disappointed that I would like to see it be like 5 straight nights, like Roots or something. You know what I mean? Like every night.
I know.
Like,
totally.
think of an older reference, Cakes.
Yeah.
Well,
that is.
I'm with you in terms of wanting, though. I wish that it was just available like Netflix. I would have cranked. I would have probably stayed up till about 2, 3 in the morning watching like 5 episodes. But the commercials were definitely annoying because you're just not used to it.
Yeah.
Well, at least it gives you something to look forward to every weekend.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If anybody wants to chime in, you can 800-636-1067 or hit up Jason on the Vibe machine or tweet us at Junks Radio. I think most people really liked it, and I found it interesting over the weekend. it's not definitive, but there was a lot of speculation that the reason that Jordan wanted to do this is because more and more people are saying that he's not the greatest of all time. They're buying into LeBron being better than Jordan, and he wanted to put it out there to show how much better he is or was than LeBron James.
Right.
Well, I just hope that, like you said, like your son, anybody who's 25 or even 30 and younger who really didn't get to see Jordan in his prime, that's what I want them to watch it. Because I assume there's a lot of game footage.
Well, that's what Awad's messaging me right now. Awad's 27. He says
he never saw Jordan.
He says it's an A+. It's the best thing he's ever seen.
Yeah.
But guys who are 27, they pretty much know Jordan either as a Wizard or YouTube highlights. They didn't live through that. They don't have the experience. So for them, this is brand new. This is incredible. But I think if you're a little bit older, my age, the Junkies' age, it's probably not an A because you know most of these stories. Now, I didn't know that some of the stuff was cool, like Jordan telling that the locker room was a cocaine circus or the hotel room.
That was a good story.
I mean, some of that stuff was pretty cool, but a lot of the footage we'd seen before.
I'm with you, Drab, that Awad didn't live through the era where he didn't know that the Bullets/Wizards didn't have a prayer of advancing in the playoffs against a team like that. Like they just had no chance of doing anything in the playoffs when Michael Jordan was at the peak of his powers and that team was together.
The other thing that jumped out at me a little bit, and I don't know if I can articulate this well, but Jordan, all that stuff that he was doing was like a combination of MJ and or like Dr. J and like Elgin Baylor and all that stuff, and he kind of created something like those moves back then were like revolutionary. The way he hung in the air and the 360s and the up and unders and all that. But now a lot of guys today do that. So I also feel like as I'm watching my son watch this and I'm telling him how great Jordan was, I'm worried that he's thinking, well, DeMar DeRozan could do that. You know what I mean? Like any guy can do that stuff now, but it was revolutionary when MJ was doing it.
Well, that's what it is. It's all built off of what he did. And he built his game off, like you said, guys who came before him. Guys like Kobe and LeBron built their games off of what guys like Jordan did. Right. And then going forward, guys will build their games off of what LeBron's doing. So, I mean, the younger kids just have to understand back then when he was so dominant, that was the equivalent of what you're watching now when you see LeBron dominate the league.
Right, but he was the one, like he started all this like flying in the air and
his athleticism was stupid.
Yeah, and
I mean, there were other guys that did it. He just did it better.
He did it better. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and they pointed out in the documentary, his footwork was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
The way that he could do turnaround jump shot. Like
everything was fundamental.
Like he had the athleticism, but he had the fundamentals to go along with it.
Like he was square, and everything was fundamental. Yeah. It was just
then he had the killer inside of him too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's just rare to see that. I mean, some guys have it now, but it's just rare to see all of that in one player.
I think the closest we've seen since him is Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
LeBron, better player than Kobe, but Kobe and the Mamba mentality was a killer like Michael Jordan.
Well, Kobe directly ripped MJ's game. I mean, just stole the whole thing.
But he had that mentality.
Yeah.
That's why he could go out in his last game when he was washed up and score 60.
Well, I'll tell you what jumped out at me more, and Cakes touched on it a little bit, was you forget how great Pippen was. At least I do.
Oh, he was so good.
I knew Pippen was great, but, I mean, you forget because you're just so focused on MJ that you're like, oh, my God. I mean, sometimes they were showing clips, and I was like, wait a second, is that Jordan or Pippen? You know what I mean? Because I'm watching from afar. The footage is bad. And they were very similar in their athleticism and the things that they could do.
He was very good, and he fit that team perfectly, but he was a second banana. He just was. When he went out on his own, he was not one of the top players in the league.
Well, also, when he went out on his own, it was older. It was like when he was, 31, 32? I mean, but still, if you watch those clips, when he was at the peak of his powers, he was a freak.
He was a great
an absolute
player.
Freak. Yeah.
He was.